Hello student, welcome to Samveda e-learning program, class 6, science, chapter 9, the living organisms, characteristics and habitats, session 2. Student, in the previous class, we discussed lot of things about the habitat of different plants, animals and their adaptations to the environment, say about lion, deer, camel. Now, let us discuss another types of adaptations in this class. Okay, let us discuss some aquatic habitats. You know, aqua means water. We find varieties of fishes, plants, dolphins, sharks, etc. in aquatic habitats. So, oceans is one of the habitat. So, in the previous class, we discussed how fish are adapted to live in the sea. Okay. Likewise, many other sea animals have streamlined body to help them to move easily in water. So, we discussed in the previous class. But there are some sea animals like squids and octopus which do not have the streamlined body. What is squid? See here, this is squid, this is octopus. Now, look at the picture. These two animals, they do not have streamlined body. But then how they move? How they survive in the sea? Can they move fast? They stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed and catch the prey that moves towards them. So, they have to wait. They can't move very fast. However, when they move in water, they make their body shape streamlined. During movement, they change to streamline structure. These animals have gills to help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills are main responsible organs for a sea animals to absorb oxygen present in water. There are some sea animals like dolphins and whales that do not have gills because they are fishes, they are mammals. Then how they breathe? See here, the first one is the dolphin, next one is the whale. They do not have gills, they breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes that are located on the upper parts of the heads. This allows them to breathe in air when they swim near the surface of water. These are adaptations of these two animals. They can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. See the capacity of these two animals. They come out of the surface from the time to time to breathe in air. What about ponds and lakes? See, this is one of the habitats, that is ponds and lakes. Thus, how we find the varieties of animals and plants in ponds and lakes. Have you seen plants growing in ponds, lakes, rivers and even some drains? ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಕೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂಥ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ? Just have an activity for you. Go on field trip to nearby pond if possible and try to observe the kinds of plants that are seen there. You find azolla, pistia, vallisneria, lotus, different types of plants are grown in ponds and lakes. So, observe the leaves, stems and roots of these plants. The activity for you. Can you do? Okay. See, observe the leaves of the plant. How it is the leaves? It is broad now. What about the stem of the plants? It is hollow. It is not very strong. The leaves are floating on the surface of water. They are covered with wax. Some of these plants have the root fixed in the soil below the water. The remaining part is floating on the water. In terrestrial plants, root normally play a very important role in the absorption of nutrients and water from the soil. However, in aquatic plants, roots are much reduced in size and their main function is to hold the plant in place. The stems of these plants are long, hollow and light. Have you plucked the lotus plant? Have you seen? Yes, it is very hollow and it is light in weight. The stems grow up to surface of water while the leaves and flowers float on the surface of water. Some aquatic plants are submerged in water. See there, they are submerged. You can notice if you visit near your lakes and ponds, you can notice these plants, they are submerged. All parts of such plants are underwater. Some of these plants have narrow and thin ribbon like leaves. You have seen that? These can bend in the flowing water. That is the adaptation by those plants which are living in running water. They just bend as the water comes to the, and also they bend towards the flowing water. In some submerged plants, leaves are often highly divided through which the water can easily flow without damaging them. See the adaptations in plants. Frogs, we say amphibian, it lives both on land and also in water. What is the adaptation of frogs? They usually live in ponds. Frogs can stay both inside the water as well as move on land. They have long back legs that help them to leaping and catching their prey. Observe the leaping of frogs near your home. They have webbed feet which help them swim in water. You see the adaptations of frog to live in pond. Students, now we discuss a lot of things about adaptations, habitats of plants and animals. Now let us discuss about the characteristics of organism. So suppose we stop a while and think which example in our list are living. What are the living things? Why do we call they are living things? Okay, let us discuss the example of forest. In forest, we find trees, creepers, small and big animals, birds, leaves, dead animals, mushrooms, moss, bones of animals, everything in forest. Among these, which are living, which are non-living? How can you judge these are living and these are non-living? See, here we find mushrooms, we find water, stones are there, different trees are there, dried leaves are there. So among these, how can you judge these are living and these are non-living? Is there any parameters to decide? Okay, think of objects that you can see around you at this moment and group them as living and non-living. You can easily do. In some cases, it is easy to know they are living and they are not living. For example, we say chair or table is not alive. Similarly, we do know that we are alive and so are people of the world are living. We also see animals around us, the full of life, dogs, cats, monkeys, squirrels, insects and others are living. How do we know that something is living? Often it is not easy to decide. For example, see here, I have moong dal. Moong, is it living or non-living? How can we decide? Okay, let us discuss later. We are told that plants are living, but they do not move like dog or pigeon. Plants and animals appear to grow in size with time. So, one of the parameter they are showing growth. So, we say they are living. On the other hand, a car or a bus also still moving. Now tell me whether it is living or non-living. Animals are moving, so we say animals are living things. See here, cars are moving. Is it living thing? Obviously, it is a non-living thing. What about chair, elephant, a table? Among these, we say elephant and tree is living thing, chair and table are non-living things. How? That means they show growth, but these two they are not showing growth. But then time clouds in sky seems to grow in size. Does this mean clouds are living? See here. So in the case of moving, a car is moving. So it is not easy to decide whether this thing is living or non-living. Next, I told you that animals showing growth, they are living. The table is not showing growth, it's non-living. But what about the cloud? You can see clouds are growing up sometime. Are they living? No. So how does one distinguish between a living and non-living things? Do living things have some common characteristics that make them very different from non-living? Yes. So you are wonderful examples of a living being. Now think for a while, what characteristics do you have which make you different from non-living thing? Now list a few those characteristics in your notebook. Say example, I am growing, I am walking, I am eating, like that. Now look at your list and mark those characteristics that you have listed, which may also be found in animals or plant. Some of the characteristics are perhaps common to all living things. Keep in mind. Now question, do all organisms need food? Do all? Answer is yes. Animals depend on plants or other animals for their food. Food gives organisms the energy needed for them to grow and do some different types of activities. Organisms also need energy for other life processes that go inside them. Then what about growth? Do all organisms show growth? Does a kurta you had 4 years back still fit for you? No. What it shows? It shows that you are growing. Then you may not realize it, but you are growing all the time, and in a few more years you will become an adult. This is the stages of growth. Young ones of animals also grow into adults. You would surely have noticed pups grow into adults, isn't it? So animals also, they are showing growth. A chick hatched from an egg grows into a hen or a cock. It shows that growth in the animals. So animals also living things. Plants also grow. So you can see around you particular plants, they are also showing growing and becoming bigger and bigger in front of you, isn't it? But they may all be in different stages of growth. You may find that some of them have grown in size and some of them they are not showing that much of growth in a sudden few of years. But what the ultimate point is that growth seems to be common to all living things. It may be slow and it may be fast. See, bamboo sticks grow very fast. The same way, the mango tree show growth slowly. If you put a seed, it will show growth. That is called germination. We put a seed to a soil, it starts to growing. That means plants also show growth. Do you think non-living things show growth? They show growth? Never. Non-living things do not show growth. Next point is, do all organisms respire? Just hold your mouth and nose for a few seconds. What do you feel? You feel difficult. What that means? You need oxygen, you need air to breathe to your body, to liberate energy. So when we inhale, the air moves from outside to the inside our body. When we breathe out, the air moves from inside our body to outside. Okay, this is inspiration. Breathing is a part of process called respiration. See, which is showing that the inhalation and expiration. During inhalation, the oxygen or the air comes inside from outside. Expiration, the air go outside from your body. Next, we breathe out carbon dioxide, we breathe in oxygen. And during respiration, keep in mind, we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide during respiration. Students, the process of breathing in all animals will be similar to human being only, but it is different in the rate. Or when you are sleeping, your breathing will be slow, just calm. When you go very fast, it will be very fast. It is common in all varieties of animals. Respiration is important, necessary for all living organisms. So we need respiration to get energy from food we take inside. Some animals may have different mechanisms for their exchange of gases, which is a part of the respiration process. We use lungs for respirations. Some animals breathe through the skin. The example for earthworm, they breathe through their skin. We breathe through lungs, cow breathe through lungs. In the same way, fishes breathe through gills, which is useful for absorbing oxygen which is dissolved in water. That is the gills. It is a respiratory organ in fishes. Do plants also respire? Yes, plants also respire. Exchange of gases in plants mainly takes place through leaves. In leaves, we find a tiny pores. Through these tiny pores, plants absorb and use the oxygen. They also give out carbon dioxide to the air. That means plants also respire like us. They also, like what we taking oxygen inside, they are also taking oxygen for breathing. They also give out carbon dioxide. So we know that sunlight, plants use carbon dioxide to produce food and give out oxygen, that is called the preparation of food. During photosynthesis, they give out oxygen, they take in carbon dioxide. During respiration, they give out carbon dioxide, they take in oxygen. That photosynthesis process, that is plants absorb sunlight, minerals from the soil, water, and it prepares its own food with the help of chlorophyll, that is called photosynthesis. Understand? The amount of oxygen released in the process food preparation by plants is much more than oxygen they use in respiration. Keep in mind, respiration in plants takes place day and night, like us only. Next question is, do all organisms respond to stimuli? How do you respond? When you go touch a hot pot, suddenly you will pull your hand back. That is called response to stimuli. In a thorn pluck to your skin, what will you do? Just shouting and remove your legs from that part. That is called response to stimuli. Think, student, your amma is preparing a nice food which you like. You will get the smell of the food. Your body will respond. Saliva is coming outside, no? ಬಾಯಿ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈ. You suddenly move from dark place into bright light, sunlight. What happens? You can't see everything. It takes some time to adjust to the surrounding. Suddenly, your eyes will become broad. That is called response to stimuli. Your eyes shut themselves automatically for a moment till they adjust to the changed bright surrounding. So, all of us respond immediately to different types of changes around us. Changes in our surroundings that makes us respond to them are called stimuli. Do other animals also respond to stimuli? Other animals? Yes. You can observe the behavior of animals when food is served to them. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗೆ ಊಟ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ? ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? ಬಾಲ ಆಡಿಸ್ತವೆ, ಜೊಲ್ ಸುರಿಸ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈ. That is response to stimuli. Do you find them suddenly becoming active on seeing the food? Yes, obviously. No, just fly away. That is called response to stimuli. So, wild animals run away when bright light is flashed towards them. Similarly, cockroaches begin to move to their hiding places if the light is in the kitchen is going to on during night time. This is also response to stimuli. Like this, students can give some more examples. Just think and write in your notebook. Okay. What are plants? Do plants respond to stimuli? Obviously. So, flowers, some plants bloom only at night. In some plants, flowers close after sunset. Plants like mimosa, that is known as touch me not, muttidare muni. It will close the fold when someone touches them. See, I will show you. The plants grow towards the sun rays. This is Mimosa pudica, touch me not plant, muttidare muni. Just can touch the plant, it will fold its leaves and open after some time. Example for response stimuli by plants. Okay, students, next come to excretion. So, you know that all animals need food, but it will not used completely by the body. So, what happens if it rest? It will go out from the body as wastes, that is called excretion. So, our body produces some wastes on a part of the life process also. So, the process of getting rid of wastes by organisms is known as excretion. See this cow dung. What about plants? Do plants excrete? Yes, like animals, they also excrete waste. But it is said to be waste to the plant, but that waste are useful to human beings. They will throw out different types of wastes through different processes, as nectar, as a bark, as a gum. See, nectar is useful to us now. We use bark of the stem, we use gum, which is ability from the plant. They are all excretion by the plant, but it will useful to human being. So plants also excrete waste product. See, I will show you a picture. That is the excretion by plant. That is a removing of the bark, and also the gum is coming outside from the plant. It is a excreta of plant. What about reproduction? Do all organisms reproduce their own kind? Yes, but in different process, different way. Many birds lay their eggs in the nest. It is a reproduction. Some animals, they will give birth to young ones directly of their own kind, but in a different manner. So some animals, they give birth to young ones directly, a process of reproductions. See here. So animals giving birth to young ones directly. Now what about plants? So plants also reproduce, but it is in a different manner. They reproduce through seeds, isn't it? Plant produces seeds, germinates to grow into new plants. Alva? Some plants also reproduce through parts of other seeds. How? A part of potato with a bud grows into a new plant. A type of production. Also, cutting. Have you seen? Rose cutting. Take some cutting from a rose plant and fix in soil, water regularly. What you observe after a few days, it start growing. And new leaves are arriving in a what you call buds from the buds of the plant. This is one type of reproductions by plants. Do human beings also do like that? No. It is only one by one process, that is giving birth to young ones directly by human beings or animals. But in plants, they show in different ways. That is by cutting, through cutting the pieces of a plant grow into new plant, and through seeds. Living things produce more of their own kind through reproduction. It's an important process on this earth. Or take place in different ways for different organisms. Some lay eggs, some directly give to young ones, some through seeds, some through cuttings, like that. What a movement! Do all organisms show movement? Yes, animals will move from one part to another part. That means they show body movements. What are plants? Do plants move for somewhere sometimes? Do they move? But no, they can't move. Why means they fix it to the soil. But they also show movement in some another way. They absorb water, the minerals, and food is passing from the leaves to the different parts of the body. Type of movement. In some plants, opening and closing of flowers also, we can see there is a type of movement by the plants. See here, what is that? See here, it is insectivorous plant. It will show movement. When you put a hand near him, it will just closing his leaves. Just a type of movement by a plant. So plants also show movement, isn't it? That is the Drosera, Nepanthes, pitcher plants. All they are called insectivorous plants. They are also showing movement. So we know have some non-living things moving. Of course, cars are moving, cycles are moving, clouds are moving, but we can't say they are living things. We have some certain characteristics, features or living things, but even though non-living things show some characteristics, we cannot say they are living things, because a car showing movement means if you add petrol to the car, only it will show movement, otherwise it will not. It will not grow, it will not reproduce into small car. So we cannot say they are living things. Next, student, we discussed lot of things, the characteristics of living and non-living things. Now we can able to distinguish between living and non-living things. But one thing is keep in mind, that is living things, they will going to die after some time. Because organisms die particular type of organisms can survive over thousands of years only if they reproduce their own kind. Is one of the main characteristics, that is, they also living things will die after some time. See here, picture showing that a small baby, the growth will start, it becomes adult, becomes young ones, adults, becomes old, and also it will die after some time. A new life will arises after some time. So this is one of the characteristics of living organisms. So they will give birth, now also they will die after some time. Reproduction is there, growth is there, movement is there, and also death also is there. One single organisms may die without ever reproducing, but the type of organisms can exist only if there is reproduction. Without reproductions, animals cannot exist. So we see that all living things seem to have some common characteristics. That is, they have shown the growth, reproduction, movement, response to stimuli, and also they also die after some time. They also need food. Now, do you find some non-living characteristics that also show some these characteristics? Car, bicycles, clocks also, clocks moving now, showing time. So already told you that it is a non-living things because it is not showing all the characteristics showing by the living things. Students, what is life? What is life? It's very a small word, but not easy to predict. If you put a hand deep into the sack of wheat, you will feel heat. It is warm inside. What it shows? Shows that the wheat grains are breathing inside. Is it possible? Yes. That is, they respire and this process give out some heat. Only the fresh seeds, but the seeds which are rotten, which are unable to germinate, we can't see the conditions. So we see the respirations in a process that takes place in the seeds even when some other life process may not be very active. In the seeds, you can see the respiration, but other characteristics cannot be seen there. We cannot see movement, we cannot see growth, but it is showing some characteristics. So it is not easy to answer question, what then is life? What is life? However, looking at all the diversity of living beings around us, we can conduct that just life is beautiful. We cannot predict what is life. It is difficult to say, but by looking all the diversity of living beings around us, beautiful plants, animals, living creatures, water, clouds, everything, just we can say that our life is beautiful. Okay, student, now assignment for you, take the questions, write the answers and show it to your teacher. Number 1, write the characteristics, features of living things. Write the characteristics, features of living things. We cannot say a car is living thing, even it moves, justify. We cannot say a car is living thing, even it moves, justify. Do plants show response to stimuli? Give example. Differentiate between whale and a fish on the basis of breathing or respiration. Okay, students, till now we discussed a lot of things about the living creatures and not about the life, and also the characteristics of living organisms. I am your Srinivasa KV, Assistant Master, GHS, Kanamakalapalli, Bagepalli Taluku, Chikkapur District. Thank you.